guys, it's Theresa here of Larkin Design, and welcome to my 2017 Project Life album. This is my digital process for week 15, and so I'll be creating this hybrid layout using the Paisley Press pocket guides. I think this is number 2, but I'll be sure and link down below. I have it set up in my Photoshop for a 12 by 24 inch canvas, and I just repeat the 12 by 12 layout on both sides. And then I've made a few adjustments and taken away a few of the clipping masks and simplified it a little bit for the purposes of this layout. And once I have that ready to go, I open up all my photos. For this week I had a bunch of photos. It was spring break, and so there were photos from my DSLR, and there were also photos from my phone. So I'm opening the photos from the DSLR folder first, and then I'll go back and open the ones from my phone. A couple of our activities that week, since it was spring break, we did a couple of field trips with the kids. We went to Dave & Buster's, and we had lunch at McDonald's, and we went to the park, and then April the giraffe had her baby that week, so I included that. And this is also a little fun drawing that the girls had made about the Dr. Seuss quote about being born to stand out. And so I just snapped a quick photo of that and included that in here. And so then I'm going to just individually drag each photo into the layout and clip it to the frame that it belongs with. I don't think that I'm going to show you that whole process for each photo. It's a bit tedious and repetitive. But I do brighten and resize every photo. I brighten just a little bit because it prints a little bit darker, and then I resize so that it's easier to drag and drop into the template itself. And then the digital collection that I'm working with is the June 2017 Memory Pockets monthly collection. It's called Curious. And so I'm going to just go in and select some of the 4x6 and the 3x4 cards and drop those into the template as well. And so you can see here where all the photos are pretty well divided throughout the, not really divided, they're balanced across the layout here. Some 3x4s, some 4x6s, some that are slightly smaller than the clipping mask, and so I'll fill those in with some patterns or some journaling cards behind those photos. And some that don't have some clipping masks or frames that don't have anything in them at all, and I'll figure out what I want to do with those as I go along. So I've pulled in 2 of the 4x6 cards, and then I'm also selecting some of the 3x4s. There were some bright, happy colors in this collection, and just really happy colors that I like using. I like the MPM, the Memory Pockets monthly kits, for the colors that they use and their bright graphic elements. They produce some really crisp, happy layouts. So I'm just going to place each of the journaling cards around the layout. I'm trying to balance colors, and when I say balance, that means like there's a bright colored journaling card in the upper left hand corner, and now I'm placing this brightly colored journaling card in the center right hand side, and there's also another brightly colored journaling card in the lower right hand side to sort of balance each other out. And then I need a little bit more color here on the left center of the layout, so I want to add a couple of cards here that will also provide a punch of color in the center of the left-hand side. It does take a few tries, a couple of deleting and bringing some back in, and that's just part of the process. I love that it's so easy to do that in a digital format. Now, this card that I'm working with right here is a 3x4, and I've just duplicated it, merged it down to create a 4x6. Now, if you were going to use that without a photo in front of it, you'd probably have to play a little bit more to match the pattern or to fill the pattern. There's a couple of ways you can do that, but since there's a photo over top of it, I wasn't really worried about it matching up exactly. You can't even really tell. I just wanted a little bit of color behind that photo. It's a very white photo. The sun was bright in the backyard that day, and the girls just looked sort of ethereal looking out the window. So I kind of like that photo. I did decide that one card here at the lower right hand was a little bit too bright. So I brought in this one that is another 3x4 card and turned it on its side, and then duplicated it again to make a 4x6. This pattern was a little bit easier to repeat across the clipping mask. There's a lot of different ways that you can repeat a pattern. These are just quick, simple ways that I do it, that don't take a lot of time, to be honest. There's nothing scientific about it. I also have decided that this card in the upper left-hand corner, that I'm not real happy with it. So I'm going to delete that one and then add this sort of nautical one. It reminds me of a nautical flag on a yacht. So I'm still working a little bit here on the left-hand side because it hasn't come together quite yet. So here's what I'm going to do with this one. It's a 4x4 card. Of course, this is a 4x6 clipping mask. So first, I deleted the text block, or I didn't delete it, I just hid it, and then I expanded the clipping mask to the whole frame, and then I'm going to change the color of that clipping mask to the really light gray that's also in the card, and then just merge those two layers together so that they're all together. First, I am going to rotate that so that it faces into the drawing, into the layout, and so that it establishes the border around the outside of the left-hand side of the layout. Now, I really wanted to use this wood grain. I love this wood grain card. At first, I thought I was going to use it behind the photo of me and Alan. It didn't quite flow. The colors don't mesh well together. So I'm going to move that up here. First, I moved this green diagonal card over here. I needed to repeat my clipping duplicate my clipping mask again, and then place that one. That one doesn't end up staying there, but that's where I put it for now. And then I decided to use the wood grain here, and I'm going to rotate it so that it's sideways in the 3x4 frame. So that's always an option, to use your 4x4 cards in 3x4 frames. And then I'm going to just do a solid behind this photo of me and Alan. That turquoise, I'm just trying to get it in the right place. It needs to be on top of that clipping mask. There we go. Now I can come back in and I can create the clipping mask. And then I'm going to go in here and adjust the size of this photo a little bit. I think those end up being about 3¼ inches square, so that there's just enough of the color showing behind it. And that provides a nice balance to the card that's behind the girls on the right hand side, so that color has been repeated. I'm going to go in here and add a text block. There's already one there from the template, so I just click into the text block and delete the text that's in there, and then add my own journaling. That way everything is formatted and the font is the right size. And once I get that journaling added, then I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'll give it a chance to catch up here. I'm going to just finish that up and then duplicate that layer, and then I can drag that to the next photo, and then I have a text block for the next photo that's already formatted. I am going to delete some of those lines, obviously, because I didn't need as much space for the photo of April. I figured since we were all glued to our internets for how many, 4 weeks, 6 weeks or something, I don't know, I might as well include it here in Project Life. And then, let's see, I'm going to duplicate that text box again over here and add some typed journaling to this photo. and making these photos a little bit smaller than the clipping mask that they belong in, it provides a great opportunity to add a little bit of journaling directly to the photo. And so I'm learning how to work with that. This is one of my goals this year, was to journal more on my Project Life layouts and to journal more of the actual photos. And so I'm kind of excited about how this has been working out. It's good. And then let's see, my next step is I can't remember now what my next step is. I wanted to move that best friends text up a little bit. I'm closing everything out. And I think I just have a few more little details here. I know that green diagonal card just wasn't fitting in right there. There's too many diagonal lines in one small space. So I'm going to replace that one. And I'm going to use one of the other 4x4s and just fill that space with that instead. And that also repeats that sort of magenta color and provides a good space to do some handwritten journaling as well. And then I'm going to save everything, and this portion of the layout will be done. I will share the embellishing of the layout tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you will like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you back here again soon. Bye bye.